are so white. What is this? Are you trying to be cool? What is this?
This is when I am like actively walking on camera. This is what it looks like. Oh, almost got you there. Good morning.
Good morning. We have come up to the northern side of the island yet again, where it's the most beautiful, but we have come up the east coast side, and we've been spending most of our time on the west coast side, just coincidentally.
Hold on, I have a lot of cookie crumbs in my pocket.
Yeah, from yesterday's cookie adventure?
Yes, from yesterday's cookie adventure. There's definitely chocolate in there. Yeah.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to take this 2-mile hike, right?
It's 2 miles up.
And then 2 miles back. So a 4-mile hike.
Yes, and we'll be going to the falls, which I don't know how far away those are from the 2-mile point up.
Okay, and this is a trail that runs 11 miles deep into the northern area where there's like no roads or anything.
Yeah.
But it's a very, apparently that hike is extremely difficult.
I heard it was one of the most difficult and deadly in America.
So that's not us. We aren't hikers. But we're doing the easy bit, is what we're understanding, and people that know the trail have seen how we're dressed and have not turned us down. So I think we're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
But it is the beginning of what people call like a completely amazing hike into this amazing those valleys and stuff we saw from the boat and stuff. Is basically where you're going into.
You basically traverse those valleys. You go into them and back up them. It is strenuous. It is crazy.
And it's in one of the rainiest parts of the world. And yeah, it's hardcore.
Yeah, girl.
But today we're supposed to have pretty good weather, and this side of the island, just from looking around, is way more green. So it seems like a lot more vegetation, and it is kind of stunningly beautiful. I think the beaches on this side that we drove past are really beautiful too. That really all stuck out. But the situation is you have to make a reservation in advance just to come here and hike unless you live on the island. Because there became a parking problem at one point.
A serious parking problem, and I also think too many people on the trail in general.
So they limit it now. You had to make a reservation online, right?
Yes, I had to make a reservation online. They have limited people who are doing the entire 11 thing to about 100 a day or something like that. And they've limited the people that are allowed to do this 2-mile hike to 900 people per day.
And then you have to park further back out away from the area and then
take
get shuttled in.
Take a shuttle with Uncle Willie. He will tell you
I didn't catch his name. He's like a Hawaiian dude.
He's like, Uncle Willie. He's really into Ohana, which means that's family.
You'd know that if you'd seen Lilo and Stitch. That's a core moment.
It's a core moment, my bad. I learned it from Uncle Willie. Fine.
So does this already start the 2 miles? Are we on the hike, or are we headed to the trailhead?
I really don't know.
I can't tell, but it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Take a sniff.
It smells like dirt.
It does smell. It smells like nice wet earth.
Yep. So when you think about coming to Hawaii, you immediately see in your head you splashing around in the waves and the sunshine and having a great time. One thing that I've noticed, at least on Kauai, is that the beaches don't necessarily seem so splash friendly. The waves can get pretty big and they can feel pretty aggressive. And we have been told by lifeguards to be wary of riptides. And mainly the winter is when these things, like this season, makes it even more dangerous to go out in the water. So we have not swam since we've been here. We have visited several beaches, been told by lifeguards not to go in, and also just looked at the water ourselves and thought, that doesn't even look fun. You would actually be fighting the ocean to have a good time in it, and so we haven't gotten into much water because we can enjoy just looking at it as opposed to fighting it.
I have a slightly different take. We're kind of on the same page, but I kind of think that it's fun to get into some water and splash around a little. Are we taking a selfie?
Yeah.
Oh my God, let me take a selfie. Hold on a second, y'all, we're taking a selfie.
Okay.
I kind of think it's fun to get into things and be in the waves.
Are we making a video? Hold on a second, let me go over here and make a video.
I like getting in the waves, and if you have a body board or whatever and you can play around in the waves, I think that there's an amount of fun that can be had with that.
Did you ask the lifeguard about this? Because it sounds like you're making your own rules here. Son.
But the thing that breaks the deal for me is that there's those riptides. and those will just like pull you out. And I'm not an ocean like god swimmer. Like I can swim. She can doggy paddle really well.
Like nobody's business.
But the waves right now, we actually were told that there are like massive waves coming in that surfers are excited about, and like you can look on like a surfer's like website and it'll tell you about the face sizes, and it's like ridiculous waves that are hitting right now. And part of that is just the season. So I'm just not going to drown, basically, is what it comes down to. I'm not into dying.
Not drowning.
Oh God, it's coming for us.
So to depict what we're going to do today and what we're not going to do today, I have a beautiful map here. Thank you to the people who have made this park so far. We're here. We're going to be traveling up a crazy amount of incline, 2 miles. So there's 1 mile, 2 miles, then there's a toilet. This is very important. And then we're going to do a hike into one of the valleys to go up this stream that leads to a lovely waterfall. That's our plan, because we're not hikers and we don't have proper tickets, nor equipment, nor anything.
Nor
guts,
experience.
Nor guts. And if you wanted to do more, you could go the 11 miles that stretch all the way along the coast. It goes for a very long time. We're not doing that, but we're gonna get the 2 miles started right now. The incline that I saw, it's supposed to go from 0 to 650, 25 to 650.
Are these meters
elevation.
or feet?
I don't know.
There's a big difference.
There's multiple numbers in there that are gonna change. And my expectations are, whoa.
It's actually got a pretty decent stone path that they've put down that makes, I mean, you're going up at a pretty significant angle, but you're not like trudging through the mud. Not yet anyways. This is just the beginning of the path. I'm really surprised that they have managed to lay out such a nice roadway, because when we went up the other side of the island to go to the very tip, we had to take the car out. They hadn't maintained that road at all. It was like completely chaotic. But this is like a hike, and they've done a pretty good job making it easy so far. Seemingly a lot of this just kind of hikes up along the coast, and that gives you little opportunities to poke out and see the coast itself. And even from up at a sort of higher area, you can tell how big the waves out here are right now. Like, they're just like buildings falling over on top of one another. It's pretty intense.
We're finished! We're really not finished. We've only gone a 1/4 mile. But a waterfall did happen, so if you really got pooped out, you can convince yourself this is the answer. We have popped out along the coast. We're starting to see what I'm calling the dinosaurs. The crags that go out into the water, I just kind of feel like they're dinosaurs that have come down to the water. They're all drinking. Some of them are omnivores.
Kind of like how a giraffe drinks? Like
yeah,
down?
yeah.
Okay.
Some of them are omnivores. Some of them are, what are the meat ones?
Meatnivores. Carnivores.
Carnivores and herbivores, and they're all just kind of sitting there sussing out the situation of the ocean and the ones around them, and then something's gonna happen. I look at it and I just feel like they're all drinking the water, plotting. And that's what I've been thinking this morning as I'm looking out over the Nepali coast. And we started interviewing random people about how their experience is.
What's the question?
The question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how was your adventure today? And we just see where people go from there. A little bit of banter. Yeah, it's been going good. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you guys say it is up there?
It's amazing.
It's a 10.
Yeah.
Amazing, okay. Hello. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your adventure today?
We're on day 3, so
Did you do the 11 miles?
We did the whole trail.
yeah, so we're ready to be done.
Well, how was day 1?
Day 1 was
11 miles.
Oh, so you went
We
straight
went
shooting.
Straight there.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you. At the end, I
it's
just
very
cried.
it's very muddy today.
Yeah, it's very
Oh,
muddy.
today is very muddy.
Well,
very
thankfully, we've had no rain all 3 days that we were on the trail, so I think that's like a miracle.
Yeah, I think it is a miracle too.
Yes.
The closer you get to the beach, though, it's going to be muddier.
Okay.
The last half mile was really muddy.
Okay.
Wait, at the 11 miles, or we're not going the 11 miles?
No, you're going the 2 miles.
Yeah.
Even just to the beach
As you
there.
can see, I don't have a bag.
Yeah, the last half mile was kind of muddy, but you should be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Overall experience to this moment, 1 to 10.
I would say
8.5 or 9.
I will give it a 10.
Maybe yet tomorrow he'll have a different answer.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
flying around my head.
Well, you guys get to
Congratulations on your adventure.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank
Glad you made it.
Thank you so much. I am too.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how was your adventure?
Good.
1 to 10.
8.
8. Scale of 1 to 10, your adventure. 7. Argue about it. Little kids are not that interested in this. Do kids not like hiking?
Kids just spit it real, man. He's tired.
Yeah. He was just jamming on his headphones. I ruined whatever music he was listening to. You see the little things falling around me?
No.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. They're little baby helicopters, like we used to have in Virginia. Where'd it go? It's gone.
Oh, there it is. It like spins like.
Yeah, it goes straight down. I got another one. No, that's just a flower. Never mind. Who cares about flowers?
I think what I'm finding really interesting right now is just the sound of the ocean slamming against the island. It's something that is sort of just a background fuzz, but if you focus on it, it's really tremendously like explosive. Kid just walked by. Katie asked him the 1 to 10, how was your adventure today? And he dropped a 20 on us. This kid has had a good day. But have you noticed that kid was like 10 and he's alone?
That's another one.
Where are his people?
That is the 5th kid that I have asked that has not had a chaperone on this thing.
It's just like a 10-year-old that's like walking in. And I'm not talking about like some 10-year-old Hawaiian kid that like maybe lives back here. I'm talking about like
kid
some
in a loincloth and no shoes.
This is like some honky boy, you know what I'm saying? We just saw a mouse and he was this big.
It's the smallest mouse I've ever seen. No, that's not true.
That's not true. You've seen baby mice.
Yeah,
this was a full-grown adult-ass mouse, and it was like this, man. We've still been doing our reviews, and we've gotten a lot. We were thinking a solid 8 is where the average is. Mm-hmm. Maybe even a little bit higher.
Yeah, we might be in the points of 8s, but we can definitely say an 8.
We've broken out onto an area that has a little bit of an open space, and the reason that it has an open space is because there's a helicopter landing zone. And it's kind of hard to convey this on camera, but if I come over here like this and do this, you might be able to kind of get an idea of how small the area is. Like there's a person standing there, like the helicopter zone landing zone ends around here. So these helicopters, I guess it would be like for an emergency or whatever, are able to just kind of set down on whatever little clearing they have, of which there isn't much. I mean, most of this is trees, but that's pretty impressive. Like, usually, you think of a big wide area with a big H painted on it or whatever. This is just an area that is totally not at all level and maybe muddy and probably a pretty scary place to land a helicopter. So we've gone up over the ridge, one of these mountain ridges things that goes down, the dinosaur heads that goes down into the water, and we're coming down the other side now. So we are walking on inside of a valley basically, but coming down the side of the ridge. I guess that makes sense. And the view is pretty cool because we have a pretty amazing view of the points and stuff that are sticking up out of the middle of this island, and it's just that really iconic looking northern coast geography that's happening up there. I can't get over this place. It really, really is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. And it's just so dynamic, and there's just so much going on with the shapes of things and the way that things are, like the shadows and stuff that are in places, and just it's textured in a way that is unique. It's a really, really cool place. And apparently we're going to be going down to a beach. That's what this 2-mile point ends at. And then from there you hike into the valley to the waterfall. And we aren't sure if we're going to make the waterfall or not at this point, but we're definitely going to meet the beach because it's like 2 minutes away.
We made it to a stream. This is pretty nice. We found out that for flash floods you should not cross a stream. So, no flash floods, I think it's okay.
Look both ways before crossing the stream.
No, it's not both ways. It's just look up. This is pretty epic. Aren't roots supposed to be underground? This tree has just decided it's doing oh my god, there's a lot behind you too, I just noticed. These trees are like, it looks like a teepee. You could live inside of it, but there's no room. Like, you'd have to snug up. Is this how those trees, oh my gosh, this is such a Katie video. Oh my god. Do you remember when we saw the big tree on the big island and we pulled over on the first day and it just had like these towering roots?
Yeah. Is that the beginning of it?
I wonder if that's the beginning of it, but it turns into just one tree.
It looks like yeah. That's
Okay.
a tree.
So it's probably not that tree. These trees in their own right are very fascinating, enough to make me just spill into that whole thing.
Adventure update. We have come down into the valley into the bottom of it, and there's a little beautiful stream running through the middle of the valley, and I think that's being fed by the waterfall that famously is at the end of the hike that we were going to do. But there's also a sign here that says from this point you need to have 4 hours round trip to go to the waterfall and back. I'm assuming to this point, like it's from here 4 hours in and out, and then we would have to hike all the way back out, which took probably an hour and a half. Probably could do it a little bit faster if we weren't stopping and talking to everybody that walked by. So maybe we could do it in like hour 15 or something. But the last shuttle back to our car is at 4:30. So
Don't take my word for it.
If we did it, we probably would miss the shuttle by a significant amount of time and have to rely on the kindness of strangers to get back to our car because it was not a walkable distance that we rode the shuttle. So this may be the end of our little adventure for today.
On
As
the
far
Kalalau.
the one way on the
Kalalau.
Yeah. The Kalalau
Yeah, you got
Trail.
it.
We did our 2 miles, and we'll do our 2 miles back out, of course. But where we've ended up is a very beautiful little beach with gigantic waves. And we are actually not allowed to go out onto the beach because the waves are so unpredictable at this point. They're worried about one coming in and sweeping somebody away.
Somebody goes out there and swims in it. How much you want to bet?
You'd be a crazy person if you did that.
Yes. Somebody goes out there and touches the water. You want to make any bets?
I mean, here's the deal, though, that people surf on these waves. So people are experienced in a way that they won't get killed by this. But I think that the goofy tourists like us that are just like tromping in here in flip-flops probably should avoid getting in that water.
Indeed.
But regardless, so I want to ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how is your adventure going today?
I give it a 10. I was telling people I was giving it a 9 because I wanted it to be okay not to give it a 10, but I definitely think that it is a 10. We're having fun, we're goofing off, we're watching incredible waves, we're using our bodies, we are having a ham sandwich on a beach that it takes an hour and a half of like steady hiking to get there.
Yeah,
it feels like a good day.
It's definitely steady, but I wouldn't call it strenuous. Like you go up and you go down, it's a little bit slippery. With the weather that we had today, I don't think it was like a really difficult hike.
I can see people not being able to do it, but
Sure.
I think general, like unless you have some impediment, you could probably do this.
You could do this for sure. Maybe check the weather to make sure it's not really, really slippery or whatever.
Weather could change this a whole lot. If we had come up here and it was raining this morning,
oh God, it would have been a nightmare.
I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed it.
The thing too that makes it nice is that we started to hike at like 11 o'clock. Even at 11 o'clock, there's so many trees that you're in the shade almost the entire way. And
I was worried about that.
There's a bit of a breeze just coming up and off the ocean and stuff that keeps it kind of cool. We walked into one area and I heard a girl go, "Wow, it's air conditioning," and it kind of felt like that. So in that respect, it's really not all that bad at all.
Ham sandwich.
Yeah, you want to talk about these? You've been yamming her about some ham sandwich. Show that ham. What is this? Is it thick ass?
This is Costco ham. Yeah, real Hawaiian. We're heading back the other way. We won't see a falls today. It's another falls that has escaped us. But that's okay. I'd rather not be stuck out here, and I want to make it to the shuttle on time, so we're going to be responsible adults. Trek it back through this stream. So this lady in the pink, I was walking behind her and she reached down in the water and I was like, man, people are really having a hard time walking on this. And what I saw her pick up was somebody else's cell phone in the water. It turned on but now there are waterproof cell phones. I shouldn't be that amazed, but still, that is amazing that she's picked it up. Hopefully that person gets their cell phone back. Somebody might be very lucky.
As you hike back out, you're actually hiking along the exact same trail you hiked in on, but you're facing the other direction, which gives you the opportunity to see things that you didn't see otherwise. Like we get to see this trail of people going up the hill that we came down that hill, of course, but we didn't see it because you don't think to turn around. Like once you get past that point, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you just don't think about it. So you do end up getting to see things that you didn't see before. And something that is really nice about this hike is that even though you're putting on sunscreen, we are still mostly in the shade.
Yeah, that's true.
Both directions, both times a day. We came kind of in the early afternoon, and now it's like later in the, early in the before afternoon, like 11-ish. And now it's afternoon, literally. And it's still kind of in the shade.
Coast. The sun has basically been going like this for the day.
So this trail, I wonder if it ever sees direct sunlight. But from where you're at, you can see the ocean, and the blues in the water are more intense than they were when we came in, just because of the way that the sun has changed.
Yeah.
And that's a nice shift. And we still have the wonderful sound.
Definitely.
The phone dilemma has been solved, actually. We were walking along the trail on the way out, and I noticed the same dude kept walking back and forth. And I just was like, okay, moving on. And then it clicked to me. I was like, wait a second. Why would somebody be going back and forth? They're probably looking for a thing. Because he was alone.
And strangely enough, this same man was a man that was on our boat last night.
Yeah.
And I walked up to him because I was going down the stairs and he was standing in front of the stairs. And the guy had told us not to block the stairs. And I just went, you're breaking the rules. You're in front of the stairs.
But yeah, so I ended up running along the trail to catch up with him. And I was like, hey, are you looking for something? I noticed he kept walking back and forth. He took my phone. I didn't want to be like, are you looking for a phone? You know what I mean? You gotta let the person identify, because you don't want them to be like, yeah, that's my phone. So anyway, we got the phone from the ladies, we gave the phone to the man, and we saved the day.
Yes.
We're like superheroes today.
Good team effort on Kauai.
Yeah, I can't believe she found it.
I can't believe that.
Because it's just like, it looked like a rock.
I wonder if she nudged it with like her foot or something and it
just
lit up
moved
the
in a
screen.
weird way. Yeah.
If you saw a rock that the screen lit up, you'd be like, wow. And that's what people are basically, that's what smartphones are now. They're rocks that light up and we do stuff with them.
But dude looked pretty relieved.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Could you imagine? Like, you've taken so many pictures on this trip already. How are you going to get back to your hotel? Do you know where your hotel is?
Think about that, yeah.
I started putting these little pieces together.
Where's my phone?
Pictures are probably going up to the cloud, and people will give you directions, and you'll sort out your life, but it's going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
And you get attached to your phones. Don't lie about it. Like, if my phone went away, I'd be like, oh man, where'd you go? I like squishing your outside box a lot.
Let's go to the sun.
Whew. Way back was definitely more straightforward. We didn't really interview anyone and just walking, trying not to slip. I had a really good slippery bit that ended like this. That almost ended badly. Let me just put it this way. I am not a good walker by any means.
Your middle name might be Grace, but that's about it.
I'm very far from graceful. So, anywho, we're done with our trek today. I would definitely say that this is worth it, just to go up and be out and hiking in a place on a trail that is really well known for this area. What you'll get out of it, you'll definitely get to see the coast. If there's no other way that you can go and see the coast, do this. Just go and do it. If you've already seen the coast, that might not be the draw for the hike, and you might feel like, why did I do this? And that's kind of the bag that I'm in. I'm happy that I went and did it. I'm not asking why I did it. I wanted to be out in the wilderness enjoying myself. But other people might say, I already did the boat, or I already did the helicopter, and now I've done this hike, but I don't even know why I did it. Just go for the hike. If you're not going for the hike, you're gonna have a bad time.
1 to 10?
1 to 10. For the fun, definitely a 10. I think today was great. For the actual activity and what you got out of it, around about 8. So I think the solid 8 we were getting. Yeah, but I had a good day. It was really fun.
So like I don't want to be the guy that calls out people for doing things that they shouldn't be doing, because it's not like I'm not the people police. That falls under the remittance of the actual police. But if there's like a place where there are lifeguards and then they put up signs that say that the beach is closed and then it's like super dangerous and there's signs everywhere, don't go swimming, don't go in the water, because like if you get hurt, then that guy is gonna have to go in there after you and like risk his situation because you made a decision that you shouldn't have made, because he's not just gonna let you drown. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna run out there and he's probably okay because he's probably a really good swimmer. But just like, you know what I mean? Like just don't go in the water, y'all. Like just follow the signs. Can't be that hard. As is happening with everywhere in Kauai, there are chickens and roosters basically always everywhere. It's just like, look, there's like trees and chickens and roosters. That's what you get here. And I heard somebody tell a story that the roosters are all here because there was illegal cockfighting going on at one point, and the hens are all here because people who were working in the fields doing sugarcane work were kept the hens for eggs and everything. And the story that he gave was, and I don't know if this is true or it is one of those stories, but the story that he gave was that in 1992, a typhoon came through or a hurricane came through, and there's a ton of damage. I know a bunch of resorts and stuff got damaged. And during that time, a bunch of chicken coops got broken open, all the chickens got loose, and that's why there's chickens everywhere. But I don't know if he was just like pulling somebody's leg, you know, that kind of story. Maybe the chickens have always been like this, or was it true? Can somebody tell me, were they contained until 1992 and that storm came and like changed the chicken game here on the island? I haven't Googled it yet. I probably will when I watch the footage before I upload it, but maybe I won't. Maybe you guys know. Somebody let me know. It's time for Fika.
Yep.
And we've got a mason jar full of hibiscus ginger tea.
Hibiscus.
And they were selling this at a little farmer market that is where we got dropped off by our shuttle. And the driver of the shuttle was like, go over there and get some of this tea. So we figured that it's his cousin or something. It's really strong ginger. Is that what you do? What your takeaway was?
Yes, it's very strong.
And to go with that for Fika, we have some banana bread that we got at the little restaurant that we had that. No, let me try. Acai.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little bowl of deliciousness that we had for breakfast yesterday.
In my mind, I'm just calling it where the girls with the tight pants go.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's banana bread in there, and the lady that was in line was like, oh my God, this stuff is so delicious. And I was like, all right, let's get some banana bread. So now we have banana bread and some tea. Let's do the banana bread first.
Okay.
What does this do?
To a good hike.
To a good hike. We had a good hike for sure. It's got nuts on the top and stuff. I'm pretty excited about that.
They use nuts as icing.
I was like, oh yeah. Oh. It's a bit nutty. It's not super duper sweet. It's not bad. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I don't know if it's like the level at which this lady was losing her mind, but it's pretty tasty.
The lady was losing her mind a bit. Like she came back and she was like, you'll enjoy the banana cake or something like that.
How's the...
It's nothing to sneeze at.
There's nothing to sneeze at.
There's hibiscus, ginger, and...
Wow. Wow. It's a million flavors. That ginger flavor is really present.
Honey was the other one.
But the honey balances it all out.
He said he sells it to a restaurant.
I can see why.
And I can see why.
Yeah, wow. This is amazing.
And I thought maybe he's just lying about that restaurant. But there's no way he's lying about that restaurant.
And our view is a nice view of the beach and some big waves. And there are apparently some dudes surfing that we're going to keep an eye out for. And I think I see some over there. Yeah, there's dudes surfing for sure.
This is Hanalei Bay. It's like probably one of the most famous beach area of Kauai.
I find that this side of the island is more beautiful than the other side. Although the other side has access to see things that are beautiful, this side just in itself is more pretty. I don't even know, can you see that there's a rainbow happening behind us at the moment?
Oh wow, there's no rainbows over here.
Speaking of beautiful.
Moving very fast. Is that a greyhound? How fast is that dog?
It's not a fast dog.
It's not a fast dog.
We spent the afternoon just hanging out on a beach, and it's a really nice beach actually.
Hanalei Bay.
Hanalei Bay. Highly recommended, but I don't think that that's a rare thing to hear. I think it's just kind of like the place to go if you're on Kauai, especially if you want a nice beach. And something that has been kind of cool to watch is the surfers are here, and because of the time of year, the surf is really big. And I heard a local walk by and be like, whoa, those are really big waves. Like, those are big. So I started talking to him. He pointed out that the area that we were originally watching is kind of like the intermediate level. And it is closer into the shore. And he said that if the wave throws you down, it throws you into the sand. And he says it sucks, but it doesn't suck as bad as way out. They have, on the expert area, they have got I think he called it the point. Or I don't remember the verbiage that he used. I'm not a surfer dude or whatever, but he had a word for it.
The break?
The break, maybe? I don't know. But it's really far out. Like, I don't even think I could swim out there. and
Yeah.
you go out there, and he said it's where the coral is, and that's where the waves are initially hitting resistance, and that's pushing them up into wave form. And that's where like the professional level, and he said the locals who have lived here their entire lives and know the water really well, level surfers are out. And he said the thing is if you get thrown out the wave there, it throws you into the coral, and he says it feels like you're going through a cheese grater.
And some of the waves out there are exceptionally big.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
see them from as far away as we were, and we're really far away.
I mean, I think I'm guessing like 20 feet or something. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of eyeballing it based on the size of a human being, and then how big the wave was above the human being.
Like human being was this big, and then wave was like this big.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was like watching an anthill with water.
Moving, but the people
hard
are
to
riding it, and they're inside of the coral, and it's a really cool thing. And then you can come down even further, and they've got a dock that sticks out, and there's a whole bunch of people it's a much more shallow area, and the waves are still there.
I've been calling it the bunny slope of snow.
Yeah.
The bunny surf
It's
is what it must be, the bunny surf.
It's obvious that the people that are surfing there are just learning or very, very amateur-esque. And I mean, that's totally cool. I can't surf
You
at
gotta
all.
start somewhere.
But it sort of makes me want to try it. You said that, I was thinking exactly
Yeah.
the same thing. Like, I would like to try this. Like,
then
it
I
kind of
was
looks like a good time.
Where do you get a surfboard?
You rent one, I assume. And they said that, so there's lifeguards in this little area, but on the areas that were the hardcore stuff, way out at the break or whatever, and even at the intermediate area, they do actually have lifeguards, but they're on jet skis. And the jet ski has got like a modification on the back so that they can take like a person on it. He called it a sled. So they've got there's actual like safety, I guess. I'm sort of surprised by that, but it makes sense. I mean, if it's a big surfing spot, then they're gonna have to have some way to keep people from just dying over and over and over.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's dudes on jet skis, and they're out there. And to be real, the jet ski looks pretty fun too. Is it like hitting the wave and like jumping over it?
Yes.
And the last thing that I thought has happened since we've been on the beach is that we were sitting on the beach like quite ways up, and like every 10 minutes a wave would just come up.
You have to start at the beginning of this story. So I was standing out in the water, and it was like hitting me at my ankles, and I looked up at Eric, and I'm talking to him, and all of a sudden this wave just comes up, and it's waist deep. Backpack's wet, my butt's wet, I'm looking like an idiot. I'm laughing pretty hard, but then we sat down on the sand for a bit, and we had another wave just come up, and we were like grabbing the towel and moving back really quick, and then we had to do that again. So the water is constantly letting you know.
But it's not just it's not just the tide is slow. It's just individually every 10 minutes there's one huge wave.
One huge
that is just jumping up and grabbing at people.
Yeah.
And the last thing that we're seeing is it's New Year's Eve, and people are setting up what's gonna look like huge bonfires. Like they're gonna light this on fire and have them a party.
And the last thing,
Yeah.
you gotta see this sunset.
Yeah, it's nothing. That's something, isn't it?
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
but
That's something. It's something of nothing. It's amazing. Another defining feature of the island is just the way the mountains look, and how there's always clouds around them, and they look mysterious. And when you see them from different areas of the island, they kind of have a different vibe. And there's always mist happening. It's all
There's always mist.
Yeah.
And if you don't see a rainbow a day, it's kind of surprising. Yeah. Like today, I thought to myself as we were hiking, like, oh, I might not get to see a rainbow today. And then we probably saw like one of the most prominent rainbows we've seen the entire time we've been in Hawaii. So don't count your rainbows until the end of the day.
America.
America. Liking, subscribing, and commenting here helps more people find our videos, which helps us keep everything going. If you'd like to help us directly, consider checking out our Patreon, which can get you early access, video commentary discussions, and even postcards from us. More from Hawaii is on the way soon.